All right. So here's the scenario. We have a company that is in B2B SaaS. They have tapped out kind of what they can do in trade shows. They've tapped out their networks in terms of internal sales, and maybe they have some outbound, but it's getting expensive to scale, and maybe there's not enough experts in the field, et cetera, et cetera. So how do they scale in digital?
There's two approaches. One is I'm going to make the assumption, because they're B2B SaaS, that they had the wherewithal to tap into the market that there was already intent, right? So they already put ads out on Google. They created some landing pages. They created some lead gen forms. They've done all that, right? So there is some level of sophistication. Where the world has changed now is that we used to call that intent kind of middle of funnel, that consideration conversion phase. What we need to do is we need to push further up in the awareness phase. And the awareness phase is significantly now longer. And so what we have determined is that we need to move away from this idea of lead generation, of where you go from awareness, consideration to conversion. We need to really focus on the awareness stage and establishing a much wider audience for the clients. Now, here's the challenge is how do you plant that seed in their audience's mind that they need that product? So a couple of challenges. One is that if their audience is already aware that they have a problem and they're now typing in Google and they're looking, and it's the first time they've now seen our client's brand, well, now they're competing head on, ad to ad, brand to brand, for that conversion, which is a very difficult place to be for sales. Good marketing kicks in, thinking higher up in the funnel. And what we like to now do is we like to think about 3 months higher up in the funnel, lay the foundation of what some of these challenges are that these prospects are feeling internally, and then let them know that there's solutions available out there to solve some of these challenges. And it's not one video, it's not one downloadable white paper. It's a combination of a bunch of assets that leads them to come to the realization or have that aha moment of, hey, you know what? We are suffering from this problem. They're not ready for a sales call. They're not ready for a demo call, but they are starting to have now conversations internally with their team about there are solutions to solve this problem. We could call that what? The dark funnel. We could call that there's going to be internal dialogue that's going to take place. And we're probably not picking up all the signals, but we're picking up enough signals to know that the right companies are paying attention to those assets.
Right.
And that's what we would help our clients do. And that's what good agencies should be doing, is thinking higher up in the funnel. And that falls under demand generation versus thinking as short-term lead generation.
So you're moving people away from kind of like click an ad, do this and do this, from when they're not even ready, to warm you up, make you aware, present an opinion, present a perspective, and then kind of they self-discover themselves to where you want them to go.
Yeah, I like to think that it's specifically in the B2B enterprise space, nobody wants to be squeezed anymore. That's done. You cannot squeeze a lead. You're not tricking anybody. The whole lead magnet thing is done. The opt-in for the email for the nurturing sequence is done. We want to present as much information as possible to that audience that is informative and of value. Now, if the company wants to really maximize their ability to scale, well, they're creating these assets that speak to their entire audience, but their entire audience may have different needs and requirements for their product. So those businesses better be prepared to create those assets that speak to those different challenges for each of the different types of businesses that they're going after.